Hi, my love. Welcome back. California Governor Gavin Newsom is making chess moves that are shaking up the entire political landscape. Spirit said to me today, pull the cards, show them what's really driving his strategy. So today we're checking in on Newsom's energy, his motivation, his long term game plan, and whether his provocative tactics are spiritually guided or ego driven. Spirit has messages about what his actions mean for the bigger political picture. The cards are ready to reveal what's moving beneath the surface. Remember, this is a political collective reading. It's for entertainment purposes and spiritual insight only. Everything stated is alleged. Use your discernment and remember, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Let's begin. Spirit, what energy is Gavin Newsom currently moving in behind the scenes? And what is your deeper insight into his true motivations right now? Our first card is the King of Pentacles upright. Spirit starts this reading with a bold reminder. Newsom is not improvising. This card shows that he's deep in strategic energy, pulling levers behind the scenes like someone who's been preparing for this chapter for years. He sees the state of California, and possibly the entire country, as a kind of garden to be cultivated, not just a stage for applause. What he's doing now isn't reactionary, it's legacy focused. There's protectiveness here too, like he feels responsible for shielding something sacred, especially in the face of chaos. We then receive the Six of Cups upright. This card is quiet but loud in meaning. It tells us that his motivations are deeply personal. He's drawing from his childhood, his roots, maybe even ancestral expectations or emotional promises that he made a long time ago. There's a sense here that California is home, and he's not willing to let it be destroyed or distorted. Spirit is saying that he's not just leading a state, he's trying to protect a memory, whether that's idealism of a golden California or a promise to someone long gone. It's fueling him. We then receive the Wheel of Fortune upright. With this card, Spirit is confirming that Newsom knows that this is his moment. He's fully aware that history is turning, and he wants to steer the wheel instead of being crushed under it. There's something eerily aligned about this, like whether you love him or not, he's playing his fated hand. The stakes are high, but so is the potential impact. This card tells us that his actions now could ripple far beyond California, possibly into the presidency, or at the very least, the rewriting of political norms. Our next card is the Queen of Pentacles upright. The appearance of both the King and the Queen of Pentacles in one spread is no accident. This is divine balance of masculine, feminine leadership. Spirit is showing that he's trying to build infrastructure that's nurturing, safe, and long lasting, not just reactive. The Queen also speaks to the people, especially women, caregivers, working families, the heart of home. His policies may look political on the surface, but Spirit says that they're crafted to soothe something deeper: the fear of instability, the erosion of security, the fragility of daily life. This is not about theatrics, it's about foundation. The next card was the Three of Swords reversed. There's pain under the surface. Spirit shows that part of his drive is coming from something or someone that he lost. It could be a betrayal, a failed initiative, or a wound from within his own party. He's not just leading because, he's leading through grief. This card in reverse means that he's alchemizing that heartbreak into action, trying to rewrite the story so others don't have to feel what he felt. And that's powerful fuel. It makes his leadership feel human, not just political. We were then given the Queen of Cups upright. This is the card that closes the curtain softly. Spirit says, he feels it all. The public might see the bravado, the speeches, the headlines, but behind it all, there's someone sitting with the emotional weight of what's happening in the country. The Queen of Cups is our empath, and Spirit confirms that Gavin is being guided by his intuition more than people know. This doesn't mean he's perfect, but it does mean that his heart is still in the room, even when the cameras are off. Together, the cards are telling us that Gavin Newsom is moving like a man on a mission, but not just for power. Spirit paints a picture of calculated leadership rooted in personal memory, intuitive awareness, and karmic timing. He's playing for legacy, not just legacy headlines. Behind the strategy is a heart that still hurts, still hopes, and still listens, especially to the emotional undercurrents most politicians ignore. Spirit is Gavin Newsom's recent political behavior, including his clapbacks and public positioning, specifically designed to provoke the Orange One and his base. The first card we received is the Moon Upright. Spirit opens with a whisper. Not everything is what it seems, but that doesn't mean it's not deliberate. The moon suggests that Newsom is working strategically in the shadows, creating ripple effects without necessarily claiming credit. He may be making public moves, but his deeper motivations are cloaked, rooted in emotional insight and political intuition. This card confirms that provocation may be a tactic, but it's more psychological chess than just childish jabs. He's pulling threads behind the scenes, threads that are meant to destabilize, confuse, or unmask the opposition's weak spots. The next card was the Eight of Swords upright. This card shows us duality. It reflects the energy he's provoking in others. He's pushing buttons to trigger fear, confusion, and panic, particularly with the MAGA base and its inner circle. The Eight of Swords isn't just about him, it's about how he's maneuvering the public psyche. Spirit shows him intentionally constructing a narrative or energy that makes others feel boxed in so that they lash out or self sabotage. He knows some opponents don't function well concerned, and he's counting on it. The next card was the Ten of Wands upright. There's a weight to what he's doing. It's not just performative, it's also exhausting, calculated, and heavy. Spirit says that he's playing a long game, shouldering the burden of both protector and provocateur. He's not just speaking out for attention, he's trying to absorb heat away from others, acting as a lightning rod so other voices can move more freely. This card reveals that provoking the Orange One might also be a shield, a way to redirect focus while deeper changes unfold behind the curtain. The next card we received is the King of Wands upright. This is Newsom's full-on power mode, not reckless, not random, but driven and aware of his influence. Spirit shows that he's stepping into the archetype of a fire starter, with full knowledge that the Orange One thrives in chaos, and he's using that against him. The King of Wands says, I don't need to outscream you, I just need to burn brighter than your fear. He's leveraging bold, visibility, charisma, and direct confrontation as both bait and brilliance. The Orange One can't resist but respond, and Newsom knows that reaction gives him more fuel. Our next card was the Knight of Cups upright. At first glance, this card feels softer, but it's sharp in this context. Spirit shows us that behind the calculated moves, there's heart. He's not just acting out of ego, he truly believes he's defending something sacred, possibly the spirit of democracy or a vision of American leadership that hasn't yet died. The Knight of Cups doesn't throw punches unless the heart is behind it. So, yes, his behavior may provoke, but it's emotionally anchored, not purely performative. And Spirit is saying, this isn't just trolling, it's a mission. Well, I certainly did not have swooning over Governor Newsom in my bingo card. We're going to steal him away, California. Florida needs him. Together, the cards are letting us know that this is more than just picking a fight. Gavin Newsom is absolutely making strategic moves that are designed to provoke the Orange One and stir his base, but not out of immaturity. Spirit reveals a layered campaign of psychological redirection, emotional baiting, and narrative control. His public persona may seem like it's clapping back, But behind the curtain, it's all about calculated provocation to weaken the opposition and absorb political tension. What does Spirit want us to understand about Gavin Newsom's long term goals? And do those goals include a future presidential run? The first card we received is the King of Cups upright. This is Newsom in his visionary statesman energy, not flashy, not explosive, but deeply intentional. Spirit shows him as someone who wants to be remembered for poise, heart, and principle. The King of Cups tells us that yes, there's a long game strategy here, and it's not motivated purely by personal power. He's being led by a quiet emotional vision, a desire to stabilize what feels volatile and hold space for a fractured nation. This card doesn't scream campaign trail, but it whispers legacy. And legacies, they start with presidential intent. Our next card was the Two of Swords upright. Here, Spirit opens the curtain a little wider. Newsom may not fully be committed to a run yet, but his choice is on the table. There's tension in him between playing kingmaker behind the scenes or stepping into the spotlight himself. This card says he's wrestling with the timing, the optics, and the risk. He may also be calculating whether he's the right face for the movement or if he's meant to be the strategist behind someone else. But the possibility? Absolutely real. He's not ready to say no. The next card we received was Justice Upright. This card shifts from personal ambition to moral mission, and Spirit is clear. His goals are about rectifying imbalance, politically, socially, and judicially. The energy here is more than just, I want to lead. It's, I want to correct what's been corrupted. Justice implies that he sees his role in the long term as a restorer, someone who makes institutions whole again. And how do you reach the highest seat to restore justice at scale? You run for president. This card doesn't whisper, it nods firmly. The next card we received was the Two of Cups upright. This confirms that Newsom's long term play is relational, not isolated. He's not trying to be a lone wolf figure. He wants alliance, public resonance, and powerful endorsements. Spirit is also pointing to the potential strategic pairings, whether that's future vice president or a high level political coalition that boosts his platform. If he runs, it won't be solo warrior energy. He'll be part of a larger movement, or possibly step in when two fractured sides need a unifying figure. This card is telling us that he's positioning himself to be the bridge. The next card we received is the Three of Cups upright. This is Spirit's wink. It shows public enthusiasm, growing momentum, and the kind of grassroots excitement that could fuel a presidential campaign if he chooses to declare. This is not just his internal desire, it's the energy bubbling around him. This card suggests a coming together of forces, timing, and visibility that could give him the green light to move forward. Spirit says, watch who celebrates with him. That's the signal. If he sees the right groups rally, he's in. With these cards, Spirit answers our question with a yes, but the decision hasn't been made public yet. Spirit confirms that Gavin Newsom's long-term goals include the real possibility of a presidential run, though he may still be weighing the right moment, team, and strategy. His motivation is more about restoring balance, justice, and unity than personal glory. Whether he becomes a candidate or an architect behind someone else's campaign, his fingerprints are meant to be on the next chapter of American politics. Spirit, will Gavin Newsom's remapping efforts in California succeed in shifting the political balance and gaining more Democratic seats? And the first card we received is the Eight of Cups upright. Right out of the gate, Spirit shows that this remapping is not just political strategy, it's personal evolution. Gavin Newsom is turning away from the old California that no longer fits the present moment. This remapping effort feels like a spiritual and ideological separation from the stagnancy of the past. He knows the terrain is changing, and he's ready to redraw the lines. But this card also carries risk. Some allies may not follow him, and not all voters will approve. He's making peace with leaving things and people behind if it means progress. The next card was the Knight of Pentacles upright. This card confirms that Newsom's strategy is solid and long term. The remapping efforts aren't being rushed or emotionally driven. They're based on data, groundwork, and months, if not years, of political chess moves. Spirit is showing someone who is committed to detail and willing to grind through opposition. While it might not create a shockwave overnight, this energy says, brick by brick, the shift will come. Think slow burn transformation, not fireworks, but tectonic. His goal isn't a temporary win, it's a structural redefinition of the map. The next card we received is the Five of Wands upright. Here comes the turbulence. Spirit is clear. The backlash will be loud, especially from conservative voices accusing him of power grabs or political manipulation. But this card also shows creative tension, not just chaos. He's not trying to silence opposition, he's outmaneuvering it. There's strategy in the struggle, and he seems ready to endure the heat. The Five of Wands doesn't show failure, it shows a necessary battle. Spirit shows him with his sleeves rolled up, saying, bring it. The next card was the Ace of Swords reversed. This card warns us of how this remapping will be received and spun. Spirit is not saying the plan will fail, it's saying that the narrative around it will be murky. Watch for headlines calling it gerrymandering, lawsuits aimed at blocking it, and even manipulated talking points meant to confuse voters. The truth of the map may not be what's presented publicly, and this could be the Achilles heel. If the message isn't strong and transparent, then support may fracture even among allies. This card is Spirit's gentle caution. Clear truth must pierce through the political fog, or the gains may be slowed. Spirit answers our question with these cards as a yes, but it won't be easy, clean, or universally embraced. Gavin Newsom's remapping efforts are rooted in vision and long-range planning, and Spirit confirms that they can succeed in shifting California's political balance, but expect resistance, confusion, and narrative warfare. If he keeps walking the Knight of Pentacles path, grounded, disciplined, and strategic, he has the tools to win. The real question isn't, will it work? It's, can he make the public see it for what it truly is before it's distorted? Spirit is Gavin Newsom being spiritually or intuitively guided in his political path, or is ego and ambition at the wheel? The first card we received is the Queen of Swords upright. This is a powerful sign that Newsom is being guided by clarity of mind, not reckless ambition. Spirit paints him as someone sharpened by experience, a man who's been through political storms and now chooses his words and moves with precision. The Queen of Swords doesn't chase power for its own sake. She seeks truth, justice, and integrity. If ego is present, it's not unchecked. It's tempered by living wisdom. His higher self isn't asleep. It's watching carefully, and Spirit says he listens. The next card we received is the Six of Wands upright. And here's the truth bomb. Yes, he wants to win. He wants recognition. He wants his impact to be known. But Spirit says that's not inherently egoic. It's a response to a larger call. The Six of Wands says that he sees victory not as personal glory, but as a signal to others that progress is possible. He knows visibility matters. The more people see him win, especially while pushing progressive reforms, the more they believe that they can push back against regression. His ambition is tied to collective momentum, not just personal legacy. Our next card was the Four of Cups reversed. This card reveals the spiritual tug of war that he's experienced. There was a time, not long ago, when Newsom almost checked out, spiritually speaking. He may have been disillusioned, bored, or intentionally disconnected. But in reverse, this card says he's woken up to a larger role, one that Spirit is actively nudging him towards. He's not running from ego. He's learning how to work with it in service of something higher. Spirit says his receptivity to inner guidance is growing, and that's what's shifting everything. The next card we received was the Six of Swords upright. This card is spiritual confirmation. He's being guided and he knows it. The Six of Swords speaks to a departure from old political thought forms, especially those rooted in fear, control, or passive neutrality. He's crossing into territory where strategy meets conscience. He's not moving fast, but he's moving with purpose. Spirit says that there are people quietly helping him behind the scenes, some in the physical world, some in spirit. This card is a message. He's following the whispers. The next card was the Empress upright. This is one of the most spiritually potent cards in the deck, and its presence here is no accident. The Empress shows us that Newsom's leadership is being influenced by a feminine healing current. This could be the energy of his ancestors, spirit guides, or powerful women in his life. He's being asked, and even pushed, to govern from a place of care, receptivity, and generosity, not domain. Spirit confirms that he's not being driven purely by ego. He's aligning with something bigger, something restorative. With these cards, Spirit tells us this isn't just strategy or ego. Gavin Newsom is being led. He's had moments of doubt and temptation to lean into ambition for ambition's sake, but he's also being pulled and continues to be pulled by something higher. There's a deepening spiritual current in his leadership, one that Spirit says is still unfolding. Ego is present, but it's not steering. He's using it as fuel, not as a compass. And where he's going, Spirit is already waiting. And our last question is, Spirit, what ripple effect, if any, will Gavin Newsom's actions in California have on the broader political landscape across the U.S. in the lead up to the next election? Our first card is the Queen of Wands upright. Spirit opens with heat. The Queen of Wands speaks not just of Newsom, but of the energy that he ignites. His decisions, tone, and boldness are stirring a wave of progressive courage across the country. He's becoming a symbolic figure, not necessarily a savior, but a spark. This card shows how other Democratic leaders are watching him and thinking, maybe I don't have to play it safe anymore. It's not about copying him, it's about permission to lead with fire. And Spirit says that his confidence is contagious. The next card we received is the Emperor upright. This is massive. The Emperor shows that Newsom's moves aren't just symbolic, they're reshaping the blueprint of what power looks like heading into the election. His decisions around remapping, political challenges, and public rebuttals to federal figures are laying legal and structural groundwork that others may follow. There's a divine order to what he's doing, even if it appears chaotic on the surface. Spirit says, watch how the system will adjust in response to his pressure. These are dominoes, not pebbles. The next card we received was Judgment upright. Judgment is a spiritual siren. The ripple effect here is deeper than votes or headlines. It's calling people to wake up. Spirit says that Newsom's actions are triggering questions nationwide. What do we stand for? Who are we letting lead us? How do we respond when rights are challenged? The ripple isn't just political, it's energetic, moral, and ancestral. People are remembering their voice, and it's because voices like his are daring to get louder. Judgment promises exposure and truth, and those waves don't stop at state lines. And the last card we received was the Two of Wands upright. What Newsom is doing in California is planting seeds. and they're already beginning to sprout in other states. Spirit shows us local leaders pulling out maps, strategists watching footage, and movements taking form. The ripple effect isn't complete yet. We're still in the strategy phase, but the horizon is changing. People are choosing sides, paths, and plans, and his leadership is one of the reasons why. He's part of the momentum reshaping 2026, 2028, and beyond. With these cards, Spirit is letting us know that Gavin Newsom is a ripple maker, but Spirit says it's bigger than him now. His boldness, strategy, and visibility are already influencing the next wave of political leaders, cultural energy, and civic action. Whether or not people agree with him, they're being moved by the force of his presence. Spirit says that his work is triggering a collective reassessment, a political awakening, and a new map of power, not just for California, but for the country. The ripple is real, and it's already spreading. Thank you for staying with me till the end, love. Spirit wanted you to see beyond the political theater to understand the deeper energies at play. Newsom's path reveals how spiritual guidance can manifest through political action when leaders align with service rather than self-interest. I personally love what he's doing on Twitter and his responses to the orange one. I've believed for a while now that the time of they go low, we go higher is long over. Tell me what resonated. Are you seeing these leadership patterns in other progressive figures? I love reading your thoughts and your insights and knowing how you're feeling about these energies that are playing out. Make sure that you're subscribed to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss out on future readings. If you would like a personal reading, the link for my Etsy shop is in the pinned comment and in the description of this video. Remember, this was a collective reading, so not everything may resonate with everyone. Trust your intuition and only take what resonates with your heart and lovingly leave the rest. This reading was done for spiritual insight and entertainment purposes only. Everything stated is alleged. I love you, I appreciate you, and I will check in with you soon.